It's a criminal day in the world of Magic the Gathering, as Wizards of the Coast has just dumped an insane amount of new Capenna action. We're talking spoilers, teasers, and storylines. So, let's see what's going on.
Magic. I am a wizard! History. I'm an old wizard! The Magic Historian. My bones hurt.
Greetings, owners of fine luxury cardboard rectangles. My friends, I hope the day finds you well because we have gathered for Streets of New Capenna Overload. We've got spoiler card action, we've got a bunch of teasers, and on top of that, Wizards of the Coast has released the first installment of the New Capenna storyline. I've actually already released a video on it over on my other channel, Fantasy Geographic. So, if you want to know what the Phyrexians and Tezzeret are doing in New Capenna, go ahead and check that out. I will leave a link at the end of this video. Now, let us dive in first of all with the spoiler card we have to look at, which is Maestro's Charm. So you'll see that this is 1 red, 1 black, and 1 blue for an instant with 3 different abilities that you get to choose one of. The first is, look at the top 5 cards of your library, put 1 of those cards into your hand, and the rest into your graveyard. The second ability is each opponent loses 3 life, and you gain 3 life. And the third ability is Maestro's Charm deals 5 damage to target creature or planeswalker. Now, there are no bad options on this card. It handles a lot of scenarios. It can give you a little bit of a life boost. It can finish off an opponent that's close to being finished off. It will allow you to dig deep into your deck, and it can remove creatures and planeswalkers. So this has a lot of different options that it's offering up to you, and I have to say I absolutely love it when card design comes together like this, because if you break down the 3 abilities that are listed here, they all correspond to the 3 colors of the card, right? You have blue. The blue represents looking at the top 5 cards of your library and picking one of those cards. The black represents your opponent losing 3 life and you gaining 3 life, draining their essence. And the red represents doing 5 damage directly to a creature or planeswalker. So every single color, flavor, element of this card is on point. When you view the card as a whole, this is a charm that represents the Maestro crime family. The Maestro crime family are essentially vampire assassins, fashionable vampire assassins. And we go into that when we talk about the story actually over on Fantasy Geographic. But these guys leave their calling card. You've got the dagger with their particular criminal family insignia nailed to the wall there. It's got all of the right vibes, right? This is a well put together card, and we can tell that this is going to be one of a 5 card cycle. Now, that's the spoiler out of the way. Mark Rosewater dropped the New Capenna teaser list, and we're going to go through that now. So, the teasers are just portions of cards, all right? So, first off, some things you can expect. There will be 5 mana costs using existing mana symbols that we've never used before. So it's going to be just weird casting costs. Picture something like 1 of this hybrid, 1 of this hybrid, 2 black and a green. Just something strange. That one is like, kind of exciting. The next one, a spell that costs 13 and 2 black. So a 15 casting cost spell that is black, that has 2 black in the casting cost. That will probably be a big, beefy, crazy, wiping out all the creature style spell. Maybe you can sacrifice your own creatures, like Mob War or something like that, you know? Then we've got a mechanic we've tried to get in numerous sets finally finds a home. Without knowing what a mechanic they tried to shove in sets, that one is like, it makes you go, okay, well, I mean, if you couldn't find a previous home for it, how good a mechanic was it overall? Do you know, that's kind of the feel I get. After that, a creature type theme for a draft archetype that's never been used before. So when you're drafting, there'll be a new creature theme that you can go for. So if you're a big drafter, that one's pretty sweet. A red creature that can make token copies of creatures you control. This is a pretty standard issue, right? We've seen a number of different things along this vein. Enchantments, sorceries, creatures, where red can go, I'm going to make a copy of your guy, but it's temporary. Basically, I make a token copy of your guy, I get to use him this turn, and then he's gone. So I expect it to be in that vein. Next item on the list, a card that adds 2 white, 2 blue, 2 black, 2 red, and 2 green. So it adds 10 mana to your mana pool, 2 of each color. Sounds to me like this is the perfect marriage for Door to Nothingness, because Door to Nothingness costs exactly that to activate and causes target player to lose the game. So if you can make that 10 mana and then fling it into a Door to Nothingness and shove your opponent into eternity, that's pretty fun. After that, a mechanic which first premiered in a standard legal set in the Double O's? Oh, in like the 2000s. Okay, a mechanic which first premiered in a standard legal set in the 2000s sees a return to standard. That, like, these for me, it's so vague that how are you supposed to get excited about that? A card that makes cat and dog tokens. So this could be either a reprint or another version of Rin and Siri, that particular Buy a Box promo we saw a few years back, right? After that, we've got multiple white cards capable of drawing a card each turn. And being capable of drawing a card, take that with a grain of salt. It means you've got to jump through particular hoops or have your opponent jump through particular hoops, because a lot of white's card draw in recent time is punishment tax, where it's like, yo, are you swinging on me? Okay, swinging with more than one creature, I get to draw. Casting more than one spell turn, I get to draw. So there's ways to draw multiple times, but it may not be under your control. So bear that with a grain of salt. Next up, we're going to talk about rules text that shows up on cards. So, if you control 10 or more creatures, you may play the exiled card without paying its mana cost. So, this to me sounds like a green card, right? Something that cares about you having 10 or more creatures and allowing you to play like a spell for free. It could be some kind of like nature's harmony concept where it's like you've got the voice of many and they come together in this convergence, and as a result, you can use that to power spells, right? After that, we've got copy target spell you control that wasn't cast. That sounds like an ability that might be tied onto a card that lets you play spells without casting them, or it's just something designed to build like a combo jump through hoops kind of a setup, right? After that, you've got, as an additional cost to cast this spell, sacrifice a creature, discard a card, or pay 4 life. So just alternate additional casts, but you get to choose. Most of the time, it will just tell you sack a creature, or it will tell you discard a card. So you have 3 different options in terms of how you're going to pay for this one. And next up, if exactly 3 colors of mana were spent to activate this ability. So we're going to have abilities that specifically care about the colors of mana used to activate it, and won't let you use any colors other than 3 specifically, right? So you can only use 3 if you use 4 different colors of mana, 2 different colors of mana, you don't meet those conditions. So that is new. I don't think we've seen any cards that specify to that degree, right? The next one, oh, this is so fun. Create a 1/1 blue fish creature token. Oh, I think this is going to be like a Sleep with the Fishes style card. One of the things that crime families do is like when they whack one of their their other guy's dudes, they send them like a fish wrapped in newspaper, right? And it's just like, that's the message. It's like Billy Fingers sleeps with the fishes. He won't be tickling goats no more, right? So that could be what this is. You literally like exile one of your opponent's creatures and give them a 1/1 blue fish token, right? Like, that is totally gangsta. I like that. That's fun. After that, you've got, when you cast this spell, copy it. Okay, so if you cast the spell, you get an extra copy of it. Then you've got 1 of each color and tap, sacrifice card name. Some of these aren't that exciting. That one's not that exciting. Next is where X is the number of permanents you've sacrificed this turn. Something that cares specifically about the number of permanents you sacrifice. Now that is not something we run into normally in Magic. After that, we've got count the colors of sacrificed creatures. So this is really leaning into a color matters set, right? We can see it with requiring specific colors of mana for activation. You can see it with checking the colors of creatures that you've sacrificed, right? So there's a number of different things in that regard. After that, we've got, you may cast any number of the copies without paying their mana costs. It's all right, you get to cast a bunch, but is it a spell worth being excited about, right? And then we've got creature types. So there will be a Devil Warrior. There will be a Racoon Rogue. That's fun. Bird Assassin. Plant Dinosaur. Funky. Treasure Dog. What up? You're my treasure dog. Angel Warrior. Sphinx Demon. Oh, that's interesting. What would a Sphinx Demon value, right? Like, Sphinxes value like rare knowledge. Would Sphinx Demons value like the rare knowledge that some people have as their lives end, that is really flavorful. Cat Citizen is next, all right? Cephalid Advisor and Vampire Demon Noble. So that's the entire list of all the teasers and the spoiler we had to talk about. As I mentioned, there is a bunch of new Capenna story that has been revealed. I did a video on it. It's already been released over on Fantasy Geographic. The link's up on the screen for you to go and check it out. Big thank you to my patrons. Go watch that story. You're going to enjoy it.